The question of investing back into your business, is the time now? I get this a lot because a lot of people are still investing in the stock market. It's a little bit rocky. And I'm sitting there going, well, have you thought this through? Let's talk about it. Roll it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos. This is mentorsapproach.com, where we strive to make a video each and every week to get you thinking and moving in the right direction. So hit subscribe. Today we are talking about this idea of I have a pile of money that I should be investing in my business. I haven't been because we were locked down. There was all this stuff happening with the pandemic. And I went and put my money into the stock market. I've made some great gains. And now I'm thinking, what do I do? Because it's a little bit rocky over there. The economy's not exactly where I thought it would be. And the question is, when's the time to make a move? So here's the email. Hi, Nikos. I have been investing into my business heavily the last several years. I had seen great growth, but last year my business got hit by the pandemic closures. I didn't invest into the business like I should have, right? And just focused on the stock market where I managed to see some great profits. That's awesome. My business has suffered as my focus has been there, and these last few months I have struggled in the stock market as well. I'm debating if I should pull my money out and then reinvest into the business. Do you think it's the right time for people like me to do that? And I'm just looking at your email right off the bat. The question here is: it the right time? Is that what really we want to be focused on? And this is where we're going to start this off of, okay? Because you have a few telling signs here that you're in this place of limbo. All revolves around fear. It's a fear factor decision making approach that's not going to do well for you. So it's not just you. There's a lot of people out there in the same boat. They're sitting there going through the whole process of, hey, the economy shut down. I'm struggling, but I have some money. I went and invested it. And the idea of that growth is there. I know I can make more money if I leave it in. It seems like everything is moving there, but it's a little bit rocky. Here's my business. We're going to be opening up. Should I be investing back into the business to get it moving as we come out of it? Now, there's some places where everything's open, everything's moving. They're having like baseball games with 30,000 people. And there's other places like where I live where they shut down everything. You can't even go to, even the Walmart or the Costco and buy a pair of pants. They've saran wrapped the aisles. You can't even buy a frying pan if you needed it. You got to buy it online and do a pickup or whatever. So we're seeing these extremes in different locations, and everybody is asking, "What do I do?" And the answer here can't be specific. And this is why I picked this email, because you're not being specific. I don't know your business. I don't know how much money you need to invest in your business. I don't know how much money you've made. I don't know how all that works. So this is a general approach of, let's think this through. Now, the other side of this is that people took their money, and before or as the pandemic was moving and before the housing market shot up, they went and bought a property, or they sold their place and went into a bigger property so they can capitalize on the opportunity. And there's some right now that are messaging me going, hey, should I buy right now? The market keeps going up. I'm worried. And again, it's the fear. They're worried about, what if the prices keep going up, can't buy something, or, what if I buy it and then it drops? So that is what we need to be looking at. Now, the tall telling sign here that everybody messages me on, that I want to focus on here, is I managed to see some great profits. My business has suffered as my focus has been with the online, playing the stock market rather than your business and looking at what it needs. The question now begs, are you one of the people that has been investing for a very long time? Most people are not. The people that are messaging me are not. The people that I'm seeing online, they're asking what to do now because they haven't experienced volatility. They got into the stock market, it started going up, or they've been playing for maybe, a better part of the decade after the last crash. And they've been seeing, with the exception of these like, little dips, they've been seeing a steady growth. And now there's volatility, and people are going, well, what's going to happen? So this volatility brings a lot of fear into the play. One is fear of missing out, and the other one is fear of everything crashing. And now you're trying to say, what do I do? In the case of a business, this is very critical to understand. You're leaving your business to die. It's slowly drowning. Yes, there are lockdowns. Yes, there's like the shutdowns that are occurring and it's affecting all the businesses. Yes, some businesses are not going back. They had to shut down. There is a whole many different aspects of what we could be looking at, but we're going to focus on one thing, this growth. You said it was growing and then it stopped because of the pandemic, and then it, has been dying. And the idea here is that your business needed money invested into it to keep growing. You stated that. And this is most people. They started a business in the last 5 years or whatever, and it's been growing steadily. And they stopped investing into the business because, quite frankly, with the times and everything that's happening, it's really hard to keep investing into something not knowing what's going to happen. Like, say, you had a restaurant and you didn't invest the right way. And this is where you need to start doing the following steps. One is analyze what is the actual investment you need to throw into your business right now. What is the return on investment that's going to come out of that? People aren't asking this. They're asking these questions of what to do, and they're not asking the specifics to go and research it themselves to figure out what exactly they need. Sit down. What do you need to invest in? If it's a restaurant, are you still like waiting for everything to happen and do the sit downs, or have you invested into the online world? If you haven't, it's time to do that. Some people are going with Skip the Dishes and all these other places, and they're losing hand over fist so much money because the fees are so high when they can open up and do their own website and do their own cart. Still use Skip the Dishes, but do their own thing here. And this is the mentality of how everything starts to shape up. We look at it and we say to ourselves, that return on investment, what's that going to yield? And how is it going to grow future wise? Even though we see this pandemic is still there, it's slowing down. We're starting to see the vaccines roll out. We start to see a lot of stuff that's positive. Well, how can we invest smartly? That's one. Two, ask yourself, how much money have you actually lost by not continually investing into your business? Now, a lot of people took their money and they went to the stock market and they capitalized on it. That's awesome. Okay. Awesome. I've heard some success stories that's like, oh man, I wish I took a loan out and did what you did. This is amazing. And there's others that didn't do that well, but they did well, right? They just didn't do that well. And at the same time, they didn't invest in their business. And their business, where if they kept investing and we did the math, they would have made more money than what they did with the stock market. Not because not because they made mistakes, it's just it's the right time, right thing to do, and they capitalized on the opportunity and it just happened that way. So I want you to sit back and ask yourself now, looking at that future wise, if you invest, what's going to happen? And look back and ask yourself, what did you lose? How much gains did you actually make? Were you going to be making way more money with your business if you had invested into it? Right? And how close did it come to the stock market opportunity? In one case, I had somebody who was literally making around 4 to 500 bucks an hour more with investing in the stock market. Where in other cases, people were making 5 bucks an hour. That was the difference. Where they could have just kept playing, investing in their business instead of playing the stock market. So we need to look at these things like in a rational manner and like logical and just say, hey, what is it that is occurring? Now, once you have these numbers, and I mean, if you can't do them yourself, go pay somebody to do these. This is critical. Go pay somebody. Ask an accountant, ask a bookkeeper to start looking over it, and go to a tax specialist because you've made gains off your stock market too, depending on where you live. And then go ask somebody who can actually project out your earnings with you putting in this return on investment and do this the right way if you can't do it. Thirdly, what you want to do now is look at the market and ask yourself, what is your risk tolerance? You got to be okay with doing what you're going to do. And what's going to happen is you in your email and in most emails I'm getting are like, should I pull my money out? And they are actually thinking pull all of it out. I'm not telling you to pull all your money out. I'm telling you once you have your step 1, step 2 done, well guess what? Now you're going to be in a more comfortable situation to say, how much money do I need to put in there? I'm going to just pull it out and just throw it into my business. You're still going to have money because you're not taking out all the stuff you made and throwing it in to the business. You're only taking the portion out that you need to get the business moving again. And you're going to calculate it out at the best timing based on what step 1 and 2 was. And you're going to start to rearrange the stocks that you have because we need to deal with this idea of fear. What is the biggest fear you're dealing with? Let's deal with that and look at the stock market and say, okay, I'm going to remove so much money to throw into my business every month to make it grow again. And then I'm going to leave and restructure and pick the right shares that I can stop focusing on how the stock market is moving. Okay. Like if I have shares in Tesla, for instance, I don't care if it goes up or down. Technically, I care when it goes down so I can throw more money into it. I know future wise that thing is going to go up to like 3 grand or something. I'm not worried about it dropping down to, 500 or 400 bucks and, oh my God, I lost my money. I can invest more. I want to invest more into it, and I just find that I need to see it drop a little bit for me to invest. That's a different thought process than the fear of it going down and going, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my money. We're talking about wealth here, not talking about making money and pulling money out. I'm not day trading anymore, trying to make that money that way. I want long term, right? So we look at it and we say, how can I do that? Figure out what's comfortable. Maybe talk to somebody who knows about this, pay them a fee, a consulting fee, to tell you, hey, based on my portfolio, what would I do? Now you're going to be more comfortable in all of these. And what's going to happen, you're going to look at all this and you're going to be able to restructure your next 5 years. Are we gonna have a big dip? Probably. Okay. We can't talk in terms of 100%. I can't give you a concrete answer if we're gonna see a crash or anything like that. What I can do is probabilities. Would we be looking at a crash right now if the governments of the world didn't? And I'm not just talking about America. The governments of the world didn't throw money into their economies and make sure like everything is flowing. Yes, we would be in a whole lot of pain. Okay. The States, they just threw another $1.9 trillion. Do you think that that's going to cause any concern for the people that are investing right now? No, the volatility will be there, but they're not going to be like, oh my God, the end's coming. We got some time down the road. Will we see the housing market have issues? Yes, down the road at some point. Probability is there, highly likely. Will it be in the next year or within this year? Will he give more money out? I don't know. I think this money is gonna run us through right to the end of the year because the economy is gonna be opening up and all this and that. So, I mean, so you think about this and you go, with my business, I've already structured step 1, 2, and 3 now, and I'm gonna start focusing on what's gonna happen with my business because now money's gonna be coming in again. See, the problem is when you stop feeding it money, it stopped making you money, and then you're just playing with whatever you have, and you're not bringing in enough to throw more at it. And this is the critical aspect of step 4. You're worried about this volatility because you don't have more money coming in at the same level as you did before. Once you start getting money out of this, what I want you to do is sit down with somebody. Again, notice how I'm going back to talk with professionals. You're going to sit down with somebody and you're going to rearrange what you're going to be doing with this money coming in. You're going to start redoing your taxes and figuring out, tax planning with a tax specialist. And you're going to look at how much money am I going to be pulling out every month to throw it back into the stock market. This is where your business starts to go up, and this is where your wealth starts to go up. This is where you start to have that dream of what you want. Because this is the idea of getting to step 5, mission and purpose, which should be number 1, but I had to start with the number 1 to calm you down and look at the big picture as we enter step 5. Your mission and purpose in life, what is it? You need to figure this out. If it is your business, then keep feeding it money so it can keep growing so you can keep feeding your wealth. If it's not your business and you don't like doing this, grow it to a point where you can flip the business and have value at it. And it's definitely not going to be right now if it's been losing money. Get it growing, get it consistent growth. And then look at what's my mission and purpose in life? What do I want to do? I love doing the things I'm doing. There's some stuff I don't like. I'm fixing it. But the rest of the stuff, I love it. And when I look at the whole picture, I look at you and I look at everybody else who emails me, the one commonality is the mission and purpose in life is not there. Where do I see myself in a decade? Is it with this business? Is it? If it's not, I don't know what to tell you. You're doing the wrong things altogether. But you still got to build the business in order to flip it. If you want to change it. And if you're going to keep doing it, you still need to keep making it grow so you can have food, the food on the table. So if you're sitting there and you're going, it's volatile, I don't know what to do. These are the 5 steps I could take because once I get to step 5, which is going to be a long process to figure it out, at least you got options now and you can look at it and say, you know what, I really wanted to have this kind of a business, or I really wanted to get into real estate. I really wanted to do these other things and focus on those things instead of what I've been doing. So now you have an out and a way to structure that out and life becomes good again. This is what we keep missing with people when they're struggling. We look at money and we don't look at wealth. And we are a wealth based mindset right now. if you haven't noticed, the gap is growing because the people that are focused on wealth are getting to where they need to be, and the people that are focused on money, it comes and goes, and they're not they're swimming in mud constantly. But if you focus on wealth growth, things start to move, and this is what we're doing here, the structured approach, because you will see yourself growing in that market, and things will be going better. My name is Nikos. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Of course, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Leave your message. Leave your story. What do you think about all of this? What are you doing in this situation? Because who knows? Somebody might be watching this. They might relate after reading your comment, and you might help change a life.